I'm going to let you kind of, you know. Thanks for listening to the AZ12 podcast. I'm your host, Mike Luke, joined by the great Jacob Seliga. I got to say before, I'm going to let Jacob talk a little bit about himself. There's not a harder working man in this entire state. I've always considered myself an in-state homer, but Jacob dwarfs all of that. The work you do for these kids and everything is amazing. But before we get into everything, Jacob, just tell people a little bit about yourself.
No, yeah, this is what, 22 years old, just turned 22 back in December. This is my fourth full year going into covering sports here in the state of Arizona. Got my start covering high school sports, my senior year of high school, covering basketball, covering football. It's how I got my foot in the door, getting to know these great athletes, great coaches, great people we have in this state. Transitioned over the past couple of years to also covering the colleges we got here in the state. So it's been a busy time, but I wouldn't change a single thing about this journey. It's been fantastic.
Yeah, well, just look at it this way, man. When I was 22, I was just getting out of school, and I was begging people to do anything. Nobody knew who I was, nothing. So you're ahead of the game, my man. Very, very much ahead of the game. So you got a good start going for sure.
Hey, I appreciate the kind words, brother.
Right. All right. So let's talk a little bit of in-state stuff first. It wouldn't surprise me at all if Arizona gets a nice commitment today or sometime within the next week. I think you're probably hearing the same thing there, Jacob.
Yeah, I think down in Tucson, I think the state knows Koa Peat, one of his best friends in the entire country, is Braden Burries, the point guard out of Eleanor Roosevelt out in California, playing the McDonald's All-American game today. Listen, that relationship has been strong. He's a clutch sports athlete. Bryce James, clutch sports athlete. Obviously, Koa Peat, clutch sports athlete. You got the connection there. But these two have been friends going back to really early on in this process before either of them were actually really being recruited to begin with. And so naturally, it's looking more and more likely from who I'm hearing from and the different people I've talked to that Braden Burries looks to be heading to Tucson, all things considered. Barring something unbelievable happening down the stretch. And it's a credit to Tommy Lloyd, Coach Benson, everybody on that staff, because, I mean, you and I have talked about it.
Yeah.
It was no doubt that this staff needed to get two out of the big three. In this case, Braden Burries and Koa Peat. And that's a nasty duo to bring in this 2025 class. Two of the top 15 prospects in the country. Two guys who will probably start right away next season. It's big for the potential of this lineup that with who is possibly coming back could be a Final Four caliber team.
Right. Now, I got to give you a lot of credit. I tweeted out probably a couple months ago. I said, listen, no excuses. Tommy Lloyd's got to get two of these three from Elijah Arenas, Braden Burries, and Koa Peat. And you said, I think he will. So, you add a little bit of juice there, obviously. Let's talk a little bit of Koa Peat because you're obviously on the ground there. You know what, Jacob? I've been doing this quite a while now. And a lot of times if a kid starts out as a top 5 player in the country, the more they're looked at, the more they're inspected, they start to drop a little bit because they've just kind of, people get bored with them or some of their flaws are exposed, whatever the case may be. But Koa Peat has maintained that top 5, top 7 status the entire time. And you've watched him up close, what is Arizona getting in Koa Peat?
Well, I think the big thing that sticks out is that he's such an advanced defender for being a high school prospect. A lot of guys, you see them translate from high school to college who are quote unquote defensive specialists and kind of struggle with the speed, the physicality of playing college level. You don't have that issue with Koa Peat at 6'7", 6'8", 225 of pure muscle. He comes obviously a family full of a football background, got a lot of weight training from his older brothers such as Andrews and Cassius and everybody else. And so this is a guy who he's been physical all throughout his 4 years of high school. And that's a credit to what he's done both at Perry High School under Sam Duane, but also what he's done in the club scene, putting in that extra work. So tenacious defender. He's not necessarily somebody who's going to space the floor from deep, but he's got a really smooth mid-range stroke. He's somebody who can get to the mid-range, stop and pop, off the dribble, you name it. This guy can do it from there. He can finish inside. You put all those things together into one, you're getting a quality all-around player who's going to be able to make an impact right away. I know there's a lot of hype coming in with, him being an in-state guy, being one of the top recruits the state of Arizona has produced in quite a long time. I hope people understand, this isn't somebody who's going to, put up 30 a night. Isn't somebody who's going to come in and, just want the ball in his hands to do damage. He's going to do all the little things, and he's going to make an impact without the ball in his hands. And you need guys like that to be successful.
Exactly. See, I look at it and people ask me, Jacob, and they're like, what kind of statistical? And again, it's hard to get into that. I think he's like a 14-7 guy, something like that. Couple assists, like people that he's not coming in. He's not going to average 22 and 11 or anything like that. But like you said, it was a great write-up. The other thing too, is that he's a very cerebral basketball player. When you watch him, he's going to be able to make the right pass. If he's doubled, a guy is going to get open. When he is facing somebody up, he's going to be able to get by him. Again, is he going to be a first-team All-American? No, but you're going to be able to win a lot of basketball games with Koa Peat as one of your best players.
100%. And that goes back to just how he's played. At Perry High School this past year, especially during the stretch when he had the broken hand and he was going through in the postseason, you saw him take his playmaking ability to another level. He was already a good playmaker, but his ability to get the ball out of his hands, hit his teammates like DeAndre Harrison, like Bruce Branch, even going back to his time when he was playing with Cody Williams, for example. He's somebody who will make the extra pass and get to a different spot, try and get everybody else involved. He doesn't want – it's odd to hear a top 5, top 10 prospect in the country say he doesn't necessarily want the ball in his hands to be able and run the show, but he's somebody who he's comfortable with playing off ball, moving around, I mentioned, doing the little things and having everybody else get involved. To him, that's what winning basketball is like. He doesn't want to have the ball in his hands to make it a winning team and make it a winning culture.
All right. Now, I'm kind of jealous of where you're at because when I was growing up, Arizona basically produced one really good player about every 4 years. That was Arizona good. It was Mike Bibby in 95. Then it was Richard Jefferson in 98, Channing Frye, Jared Bayless. Man, Jacob, you're watching now, and I'm talking not just guys that are, I'm not talking about necessarily the Alozis that are, from somewhere else, but the guys that are indigenous to the state. And we're about to talk about some of these guys right now. I mean, we talked about Koa Peat. Let's talk about his teammate, Bruce Branch. This is a top 10 player in his entire class, and he's barely scratching the surface of what he can do.
He's so raw, but you see the athletic potential right away. He's somebody who could jump out of the gym.
Yeah.
You saw him mature in his game as the season went on. Obviously, during the summertime, you saw him because Koa wasn't around, because of FIBA and everything. He was kind of being able to be the man, kind of do what he wanted to do throughout the summer. But early on in the season, in particular at Hoop Hall West, you saw him struggle a little bit, facing the pressure from more experienced and bigger defenders and bigger players. And so with that, you saw him struggle in January, but you get to February and March when he's going up against other great players in his classes, like another player we'll talk about from Sunny Slope and others. And you saw him develop. And that's the biggest thing. He's so raw. He's so young. But his shot is there. He can get to the rim. He can finish. But it's just like Koa Peat, his teammate. Yeah. It's his defensive game and his defensive upside that stands out. With being such an athletic wing, his ability to guard on the perimeter and trail and get inside and guard inside as well, it's very special for somebody as young as him.
Let's talk a little bit about them playing under Sam Dwayne, because, I mean, this guy is a legend. His pops was a legend as well. He's obviously retiring, but these guys all know how to play basketball, whether it's from Jalen Williams to Cody Williams to Koa Peat to Bruce Branch. You're getting a really, really good training there, Jacob, under Sam Dwayne.
Yeah, you're getting – I mean, Sam Dwayne is arguably the greatest basketball coach to step foot in the state of Arizona, all things considered. When you look at the NBA talent he's produced, when you look at the players who have gone to the next level, even going back to his Corona del Sol days with guys like Alex Barcelo, Marvin Bagley, Sabian Lee, he's somebody who, like I preached with Koa Peat doing the little things, Sam Dwayne preaches you have to do the little things. You have to do all the extra stuff. he said it best. He's like, anybody can put a ball into the basket, but if you're doing everything else, that getting the ball into the basket is going to be a million times easier. And so
Right.
it's a credit to
That's a
Sam.
great way of putting it.
Like, it's a credit to Sam Duane for just developing these kids and getting them ready for the next level. Because, I mean,
Right.
think about it. Koa's going to be ready to make an impact day one when he gets on campus. Look at how ready Cody Williams was last year. He's still raw. He's still going to go in the NBA,
He's
but
still
he was
giving you 10, 12 points a game, you know?
exactly. He was able to get to Colorado and do things there. Like, that's just how it is. You're going to be ready to play at the next level under Duane.
All right, now I'm going to get to some other players here. We're going to go to 2026, and this is where I'm so jealous of being able to watch all these kids. Let's talk a lot about Cam Holmes, obviously from Millennium, a really good player, a lefty, bigger guy, wing, can go anywhere in the country. Arizona obviously would love to get him. Jacob, what kind of player is he?
To me, and the big thing you're going to notice with this 2026 and 2027 classes, the phrase 3-and-D is going to get thrown around a lot. And
Yeah.
Cam Holmes is the definition of that. 6'5", 6'6" wing. His shot is so smooth from deep. He can catch and shoot, pull up off the dribble. He's going to knock it down. And he's got deep range. I mean,
Right.
there are countless times this season, big games, you see him step up from a couple feet behind the high school three-point line from that NBA distance and knock it down with these. He's a versatile defender. You see him step out on the perimeter, guard smaller guards, be able to force posing ball handlers sort of to be a little out of control, but he's also able to get inside, contest shots, do all the little things. His ability to jump in the passing lane, steal, get an easy bucket at the other end. He's one of my favorite players in this class in the entire country. I love his game, and I really do think his ceiling, he's only scratching what he can potentially be.
And you know what? You watch him too, and he's an interesting guy because he's got a high upside, but he's already got a lot of polish to him. A lot of times when you look at it, like a guy like Bruce Branch, Bruce Branch isn't scratching the surface of what Bruce Branch can be. You know, you look at it because there's some games where he gets 8 points. You know, but again, you can tell what he's going to be. Cam Holmes, you go in there and you're like, man, his upside is huge, and he's already. I mean, he's a monster. He's a monster, and like I said, he can start anywhere in the country.
I think it's a credit to his Millennium team, especially this season, for why he sort of had to show that a little bit more. Millennium had a couple of big-time kids who came in from out of state who transferred off to other schools. And so for him, it was his teammate Kingston Tosi who's going off to Utah State. It was Cam and Kingston pretty much playing with the rest of their teammates. It was about 5 on 10 most games because other teams could go to their bench. Millennium couldn't. And so in those big games, he had to step up and be the main scorer, be sort of, put the ball in his hands, put the team on his back, do what he has to do to get them to victory. And he got them to the semifinals by playing that way.
Right.
So, I mean, he's shown that he can do those type of things.
All right, now I'm going backwards a little bit here. I want to talk about my guy Uriah from Prescott High School. Now, you might say, Mike, who is that? Decommitted from San Diego. I can tell you for a fact that Arizona has known about him for a while. This is no disrespect to San Diego, and you've seen him more than I have, but I've always felt that he was a power forward guy. Jacob, what say you?
I think when I look at him, he is somebody who can definitely come in next season and honestly give you 10 to 15 minutes in a backup guard role under a potential Jaden Bradley, Braden Burry's backcourt. To me, the shot is there. But what's unique about him, a lot of 5'10", 5'11" guys, you need to have something special about your game to be able to play at that level. For some of these guys, it's to be able to shoot from the freaking volleyball line all game long and knock it down with these. It's be a better passer, be a better defender. His athleticism for his size is unparalleled.
Insane.
It's insane. This kid is absolutely amazing. I've seen him pull up from a foot and a half just past the free throw line and just yam it on somebody. He's got the potential to just dominate when he has the ball in his hands. I know a lot of U of A fans really wanted Elijah Arenas in his recruitment when that was going on. Uriah Tenet dropped 55 and got the W on a more talented Chatsworth team headlined by Arenas at the Damon Classic back in December. He is a microwave. If he gets going, I don't know if there's anybody in the state that could have outscored him when he's on fire. He can
And
actually play at U of A next season as a backup guard, and who knows, potentially down the line, develop into a starter.
And what I like about him too is just what you hit on. It's not that he's the only ready to play right now. It's that he has upside. Now, does he develop into a starter? Who knows? But you can look at it. You can look at his intangibles. You can look at his physical traits, Jacob, and you could be like, that's a guy that if things break right, he could be a starter in a couple years, and he could be a really dangerous player.
Especially, too, when you look at the guard he might potentially be playing behind. When you look at Jaden Bradley, you look at what he can help develop Uriah into as an even better defender. Uriah can play off ball, but because of his size, it's a little trickier against bigger guards, but he still holds his own. He could develop into a better defender. He could develop into a better shot maker. He could do all of those things. He's already a good playmaker, all things considered. So if U of A was to get him, and get him into the program and get him around the talent in these guys, Uriah can be a star, all things considered. Because truthfully, when you look at whom he's played with, he's never played with players and stars of this caliber.
He's playing with guys like me.
Exactly. Right. And he can be something even bigger and better when you have talent around him. And so I for one, listen, that staff from UC San Diego, they did a heck of a job. They're going to New Mexico. That's still Mountain West. That's still an upgrade from where he was.
Right.
He's going to be ending up somewhere bigger and better than playing in the Big West, which he was originally committed to.
For sure. Now, Mike Natowski, and I want to ask you about somebody else here in a second, Jacob. So, Mike, are we going to actually go after it? Everything comes down. If it's up to TJ Benson, yes, you will. But Tommy Lloyd's got to sign off on that one. TJ does a great job in state. Talk a little bit about TJ Benson and just kind of his role here. Obviously, Casey Benson's older brother. Talk a little bit about what TJ is for Arizona there, Jacob.
You know, I think what's so special about TJ Benson is, and I think everybody who I cover basketball with closely in this state will tell you, the amount of big games, big schools, places you will see. If Arizona has an off night, you see TJ Benson at a gym throughout this state. And that's something that, you know, I'm in the Valley. I don't see people from ASU staff getting around to these gyms, getting around to other places.
But you see TJ.
I see TJ at Millennium. I see TJ at Sunny Soap, at Perry, at Basha, at Brophy, at these big gyms and at these big places. And what's so special about that is that it shows a genuine care and genuine investment into pushing the state forward. Because, you know, you hit the nail on the head. Heck, even when my family, we first moved out here about a decade ago, basketball in the state of Arizona, the talent pool and the public schools, everything, it wasn't there. To see what it's become, though, you have to match the level of investment that the state has put in talent-wise. And so by having somebody like TJ Benson, who is an amazing person, one of my favorite people to talk to when I get to see him at these gyms, he's amazing. And U of A, you got somebody who wants to keep building this state up and wants to get these in-state kids to stay home.
And that's what when people were asking me, they're like, well, who are they going to get for their next assistant coach last year? And I told them, I'm like, to me, it's a one-step. You get TJ Benson, you get him on that staff full time. And because like I said, when you got TJ Benson, when you got Jack Murphy, these guys, and again, TJ's in-state priorities, these guys are everywhere. That's what you need. You need guys that are basically everywhere. Now, I want to talk to you a little bit, too, about a couple other players. Arizona's obviously going to be a point guard, need a point guard in 2026. Talk a little bit about, and again, I know he's a prep school kid, but talk a little bit about Akina Olozi and what he brings, because he's obviously a stud.
Oh, my gosh. I remember the first time that I saw him, and I talked to some of the people who've seen him more to me to that point. They're like, this kid's a pro. This kid's going to be a future pro. I'm like, okay, well, people say so-and-so is going to be pro. So-and-so's you see it. His ability, he does everything. I like what he brings on the defensive end. I like his athletic ability. I like how he's able to score, finish, do all those things that he's a winning basketball player. That is the simplest way to describe it.
For sure.
You know, you could talk about you can break down all the little things that everybody does. With him, for me, it's hard to find a flaw in his game. And
there isn't one.
And exactly. I'm sitting here, I'm like trying to think. I'm like, I could poke at this, I could poke at this. But truthfully, like his flaws are almost non-existent. And for somebody to be in the state of Arizona, now granted, he is a prep school kid, But for somebody being in the state of Arizona that talented, I know for a fact that this staff definitely would love to have him and definitely wants to bring him in because all things considered, when you bring in guys like that, your ceiling gets a lot higher.
Right. Let's talk a little Mason McGee then. Obviously from Basha, another point guard on there. He's not in that same class as, being like that top 10 player, but he can play though. What's your opinion on Mason McGee, point guard out of Basha?
Mason McGee to me, and this was a conversation I had with a couple of people this year. When Koa Peat missed that game against Ironwood, you saw the rest of his team step up and you saw how dominant Perry still was.
Right.
When you saw Mason McGee get injured and be out for the remainder of the season for Basha, you saw them almost lose to a 4A team in Deer Valley. You saw them lose to Sandra Day O'Connor. Mason McGee may have very well been the most valuable player in the state this past season. And big reason why is defensively. Although he is on the smaller side, he is an amazing defender for his size. His ability to get steals, his ability to get up in the grill of opposing guards and disrupt what they want to do. It's very unique because I don't really see a lot of small guards do that well anymore. He's a good scorer. He's somebody who can finish through contact, get inside. He's somebody who can pull up in the mid-range. He's a good playmaker. He does another kid that does a lot of the little things very well. I like him a lot. I know a lot of ACC schools are trying to go after him, but he's another kid where I think in Tommy Lloyd's system and developing with the guards that are there, he fits that mold of somebody that could play at U of A and be effective.
Yep. Now let's talk a little bit about Darius Wobbington, your guy. Another one that I know that it was up to some guys on the staff. They would offer him immediately. I'm not sure that they won't. Kid that likes Arizona. That's but talk a little bit about Darius Wobbington and who he is. Obviously, kid out of Sunny Slope. What do you see?
Darius Wobbington, we mentioned the 3-and-D mold. He is another player that fits that mold to a T. 6'8", 6'9". He's very stocky for his frame. Not fit, but he's very stocky. Right. He's built out fairly well. He's got a really smooth shot from deep. The biggest thing that stands out to me, for people who may not know Sunny Slope basketball, it is a defensive first team. They're not a team where you're going to be able to score a lot of points unless they're generating turnovers, forcing you into mistakes, and getting baskets that way. They are a slow, methodical team. And this season, you saw him step up into that role of being sort of that go-to guy alongside Ryder Portela and being a true scorer. You saw him balance out in that game. His rebounding ability for somebody who's very likely going to play the 3 or the 4 at the next level is very well for what he is going to play. Right. He's a really good defender inside. He's working on his footwork. He is a little slow-footed on the perimeter at times, but he's still so raw. And I think that's what's unique about him is that he's a player who, like we mentioned with Bruce Branch, he's scratching the surface like Bruce Branch, but he's a little bit more developed than Branch is at this point.
You know what I like about him too is that he's legitimately 6'10", 6'11". He's not like 6'8.5" or something like that. I mean, he's got that. He can shoot the 3. And like you said, the other thing too about him is that there's a lot of when he gets into a college program and he's able to, really like work on the body. Like you said, it's not that he's got a bad body or anything, but to be able to get kind of that D1 training. I mean, I see why he's rated as a top 20 player in the class, Jacob. I mean, again, I haven't seen him in person like you have. I've just seen, I've watched some games on the internet and stuff, but it's easy to see why he's rated the manner in which he is.
Yeah, the biggest thing that jumps out to me, I saw them both in their semifinal game, but also in their Elite 8 game against Boulder Creek, and his ability to just impact the game from that jump. Boulder Creek's got a lot of kids who are 6'8", who got some size, who are physical inside. Wobbington did not care. Wobbington had 12 rebounds at halftime. He was just pulling it down over everybody. He's starting to get more physical, which I like to see from somebody of that size. He's not letting people push him out of the paint, which was an issue last season. He's able to stay down low, finish down low, impact the game defensively in the post. And that's something that as he gets older and as he matures in his game, he's going to get better at.
Yeah, for sure. All right, now let's talk a little bit about what do you think about Cam Williams, St. Mary's?
I hear a lot of people talk about the KD comparison because he's 6'11" and is an absolute sniper. I was having a conversation with one of my really good people at the 4A state championship game, and they asked me, who's a better prospect for the NBA, Koa Peat or Cameron Williams? If you told me who's the better NBA prospect, it's Cameron Williams to me. For somebody who's 6'11", who's still growing, his coach and Cam confirmed that at the state championship, so he may get to a true 7'7" to be an elite shooter that he is from the mid-range, from the perimeter, to have the ball handling ability, but also to guard on the perimeter as well as he is. He's somebody who's going to have to play the 3 at the next level because he is still so skinny. He still needs to get it bigger, and he still needs to get a little bit more physical. So he's not going to fit your mold of a 4-5. But as a 3, he is an NBA prospect for sure, and may be very well one of the best prospects in the entire country in his class.
All right, Jacob, let's talk a little bit. I want to move over to football here for a few. We've got a couple minutes left. You coach a pretty loaded team right now, Jacob. Let's talk a little bit about that. You got a couple college prospects there.
A couple. I'm very lucky to be a part of the numbers don't lie, the most talented team in the state.
It is. It's the most talented team in the state for sure. It is.
We currently have the most players in the state with Division I offers, which isn't the be all end all, but we got a running comment. DE means next level. We're going to get you to the next level. We're going to develop you into who you want to be and the player that you need to be to get ready. And that's a credit to our head coach, Henry MacArthur, and just everybody on our staff who, helps get these players to this point.
Let me ask you this. When a kid comes to you, do you know fairly early on, especially when you're dealing with football players, do you know fairly early on, yeah, that's different? And the reason I ask that is, like, when I saw Bijan Robinson, it was like, this isn't, to quote Kendrick Lamar, he not like us. I mean, he's, when you see like, do you just know pretty early on? And I get some guys are late bloomers, but do you have a pretty good idea pretty early on?
Yeah, for me, the biggest example was obviously, being in the media and covering high school football over the past few years. I've gotten to see the majority of talent from that 2020 class onward throughout the state season develop what they into. But to me, we have a 2028 kid, Jelani George, who's got a lot of big-time offers, Georgia, A&M, everything, man. He is an absolute stud. And when I first saw him in the weight room during the summer, he's 6'5", 240 already, and the weight is good. I'm like, this kid's coming fresh. Oh, yeah, he's going to be a superstar. And sure enough, by the end of the season, I don't know. I couldn't even put into words how amazing he was as a freshman defensive end. And to think he's only going to get better. We still got 3 more years with him, man. It's special.
Right. Was there anybody that when you've seen in high school and you're like, that's the one, that's the best one? The only reason I'm asking, I'm trying to give Bijan Robinson a little bit of love here just because he's a Tucsonan.
So for me, I saw Bijan play, I want to say it was his junior year against Sunrise Mountain. And holy crap. I can't even put into words. Like, dude was an absolute stud. It's like watching a guy play in fast motion and watching everybody else sort of just play in slow motion. Like, it just looks so effortless. I'd say him and Damon Williams are 2 by far where I was just like, oh yeah, they're different.
Yeah, for sure. All right, you all need to follow Jacob on Twitter. He is like I said, he's your one-stop shop for everything Arizona. He's the best one out there in the state by a mile. Jacob, we're going to have you on again, and it's been absolutely a privilege to have you on, my guy.
Hey, I appreciate it. Thank y'all for having me on.
All right, we'll talk to you soon. That's Jacob Seliga. All right, now moving over. Let's see here. We got Matt Rain coming up in just a second here, but I got to pay some bills here first. All right, here we got to pay some bills here. Longview Insurance and Investments. Longview Insurance and Investments, and then we're going to get back to basketball, my friends. Oh yeah, Jacob's Way. Yes, for sure. Okay, now Longview. Now let's see here. Are you ready for your financial are your financial plans and investments ready for today's market volatility? Is your plan built to adapt to economic shifts? What could your future look like with a personalized financial plan? You need to give Andre a call at 325-3456 and reference the AZ12 podcast for a complimentary initial meeting. Yummy, yummy. Check it out. Longview Insurance and Investments. All right, now Baggins, my friend. All right, ooh, yummy, yummy in my tummy. Yummy, yummy in my tummy. All right, they got a great deal going on. Cody, did you put that in there yet? Or I don't know if you did or not, but if not, they got a great April deal going on. Use code AZ12. You will thank me later. Every sandwich comes with a chocolate chip cookie. Ooh, my post-workout routine, chocolate chip cookies, baby. Check it out. All right, now check it out. You will thank me later. Also, Joseph, you guys are all wrong on this. I have never, under any circumstances, I've always liked Jacob. I never beefed with Jacob. Jacob's the man. I have a lot of respect for Jacob. I always have. Nice try, my friend. I had nothing to do with that. I've always stuck up for Jacob. He is the man, and he's going to be coming on a lot more. All right, now, Matt Rain. Hello, Matt Rain. Matt, you got to unmute yourself there.
So fair. What is up, Mike? How's it going? Happy Tuesday. Happy Tuesday.
Anything going on today?
I don't know. It might be a day. It might be a day to back the A.
All right, Sergio Macias. I'm going to tell you guys something right now, and you can take it for what you want or what. Listen, it's either going to be today or in a couple days, and there's a reason why. The big reason why is because maybe an agent, I don't know, wants somebody to announce today during the McDonald's game. And guess what? Maybe some of the players want him to announce later on in the week. Either way, I would expect us to have an emergency podcast tonight. Wink, wink, nod, nod. Sergio, be nice to me. Okay. Now let's talk about some of the portal news right now, first and foremost. But let's talk about Braden Burries. I'm going to mess it up so many times and call him Braden Bradley. But Braden Burries that's what you want, man. That's what you want. He is you need somebody that can get buckets. He can get buckets.
And I think, Mike, there are a couple things that I really like about him. And, you might have been following him for a little bit longer, but having watched a lot of his tape, certainly the last week or so, he's older, right? He's one of the older recruits of this class. And I think that shows on film. He is very mature in his game, at least from what I've seen. And sometimes when you get freshmen, it takes them a little bit to get acclimated, which is totally understandable, besides for a few like Cooper Flagg. But Braden Burries can come in right away and compete not only for a starting spot, but to honestly, and I don't know if this is a bold take, but I think he can be on a Big 12 all-conference team.
I would agree with that. Now everybody's asking about my Tom Fords. I wore my contacts today. I went and got lunch with the ladies, so I wanted to look a little bit more presentable than normal. But at the same time, though, I have Dave Hickey. Hello, Dave Hickey.
You rizzed her up, Mike. You rizzed her up.
Yeah, rizzed her up. We're going to talk Gen Z terms here in a little bit too. Gen Z terms. I like crash out, by the way. Crash out is great. But Braden Burries, though, I mean, that would be fantastic. Also, something that everybody in here keeps saying, and Rage, our resident Arizona doubter, Rage Triano. Rage doesn't know if Carter Bryant is leaving or not. He doesn't know if he is leaving or not. So don't listen to Rage. He's full of hot air. He's Ohio. How about that? Does that work? Is that good?
No, but that's okay. We'll keep working on it.
What does Ohio mean again?
It's like sus, right? It's a long story.
Doesn't it mean sus or like no good?
Yeah, but Ohio is usually combined with like Skibbity, Ohio. It's a whole thing, Mike.
All right, never mind. Yeah, Matt's saying, hey, dude, don't pursue this one. Okay, fair enough. All right, let's talk about it. Now with Carter Bryant, here's where it is with Carter Bryant, and I feel very good about saying this, is that there is no decision that has been made. And if he deleted his social media, I don't care because they haven't even had talks about it yet. I will say this, nobody in his family is pushing him out the door. Or pushing him out the door in the NBA. And like we've always said, it is he's like a young fawn in the field, an innocent doe. I want him back. Rage, you don't know anything about this, so be nice, Rage. But Matt Rain, you want him back as well, unlike Rage, correct?
Of course. And yeah, I mean, here's the thing about Carter, and you're right, Mike. He comes from a really good family, as you know. He has a really good head on his shoulders. He's a great kid. And at the end of the day, if he decides and his family decides that the NBA is the next path for him and he wants to pursue that, I won't hold anything against him, of course. But I think what my pitch would be if as a fan or if I'm Tommy or whoever, is saying, look, you come back, you play with your university that you love. You had a great freshman season. You have a lot to improve on as a basketball player. And I think you're a top 10 pick if you come back. And that's a lot more guaranteed money. You still make the NIL money in college. It's a win-win for me, but we'll see.
You know what it is too, Matt? To me, here's the deal. If you're let's say the 25th pick in the draft, obviously any NBA team wants you to be good, but they don't have an investment in you because nobody's going to say, hey, dude, you drafted the 25th pick of the draft and he sucked. That goes against your record. But guess what? If you draft somebody that's the 9th pick in the draft, they have a lot more reason for you to really want to work out. And that's where I just kind of come at it with Carter. And again, either whatever they decide is awesome. But at the same time, it's a lot better to be a top 10, top 12, top 14 pick because the team has a lot more reason to be invested in you.
Yeah, absolutely. And, I think we can even see that throughout the past draft classes, right? Where you have guys going from 20 to 30. Yeah, some of them pan out, of course, but a lot of them end up in the G League. And my worry for Carter, I think he's going to make it. I think he's going to be an NBA player, of course. But for him, it's like, do you want to be playing in the G League in front of 50 fans at the Santa Cruz Warriors game, which, by the way, I've been to the Santa Cruz Warriors game. Great environment, but it's not the same as McHale, right? It's not the same as McHale. College life is amazing, Mike. You and I both know that. We know U of A is great. There's nothing like walking into the student union. We're back in the A. So look, if our Carter now, Mike, what does it change about Arizona's ceiling if he comes back? Right. I think that's maybe the more worthy conversation. Is Arizona, again, we have to see how these pieces shake out, but does Arizona become probably a top 5 preseason team if he comes back?
If Carter Bryant comes back, they're a top 5 team, period, point blank. That day, he's massive to me because he does everything. All the spacers, all the people that are like, Arizona can't shoot. We need players that suck but can shoot at least. Carter Bryant is good and he can shoot. So if you've got Carter Bryant, Braden Burries, and Jaden Bradley, that's a good shooting lineup. Obviously, Jaden's not a great shooter, and you can get your own. And you know what I like about Carter? He gives you a margin for error because he's a great weak side shot blocker. Arizona needs that. It gives you a better margin for error. Yes, that's a very good team. Sorry, I don't have my glasses. Oh, real quick, let's do a read here so I can explain my glasses. Let's do Arizona primary eye care. Bring it up, Cody. Come on. And yes, Mike Luke's daughter is definitely Dennis Walsh. We're on to you, Dennis Walsh. Nice try. Okay, now AccuView. You might say, Mike, what are you wearing? Contacts, baby. AccuView now offering $400 towards contacts, $150 for disposable. 4 locations for routine exams. And again, they're not going to do something weird like you go in there and they're like going to say, you know what, we're going to remove your eyelid and we're going to put it back in and say we're going to charge you for it. They don't do any of that stuff, Matt Rain. We've all dealt with people that try to remove your eyelids. We don't like it.
No, we don't.
It sucks. You need your eyelid. They keep your eyelid around. So either way, optical options to fit all of them. You got 4 different locations though, my friends, 4 different locations. Let's get them all booked up. Okay. Now, what else do we got? Oh, welcome to the Rock. Green Valley Decorative Rock. Hey, do you know who Sean Connery is?
The actor?
Yeah, you know who he is, right?
Yeah.
Okay, well, I don't know. Some Gen Zers don't know, so I'm just making sure. Hey, can I see your Sean Connery impression? Come on.
What you just did?
Yeah. Come on.
Welcome to the Rock. Welcome to the Rock.
That's my welcome to the Rock.
I tried.
Now, Matt, there's a scurrilous rumor going around about Green Valley Decorative Rock.
What's the rumor? Tell me.
That it's only in Green Valley. Can you believe that?
That's terrible. But people are just spreading so many rumors these days. I mean, it is April Fool's Day, right?
Yeah, but this goes beyond. This is vicious. This is malicious. This is bad. Green Valley Decorative Rock is in Tucson, my friends. Green Valley Decorative Rock is in Tucson. And again, we will not allow the other people to be able to sit here and say that they're not. Not going to do it. Not on my watch, my friend.
They're in Tucson.
They are in Tucson. 2 convenient locations. And guess what? They also go up to, Oracle, west to Marana, east to Sierra Vista Benson, and south to Nogales. Oh, and guess what? If you want something delivered to like Alcatraz or something, you'd have to ask Mike. He's in the comments right there. But everybody's got a price. Everybody's got a price. So I will leave it at that. They're great, though. Again, they just had their best month on record, and to keep it moving. And that's because we are one by one. It's like the whack-a-mole thing. Every time somebody comes out and they're like, Green Valley Decorative Rock's only in Green Valley, we say, yeah, right. We say, yeah, right. Green Valley Decorative Rock. Rock, 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 rock. Yes, yes. Okay. All right. Now let's talk. All right. I want to talk about Henry Vasar for a second here.
Yep.
KJ Lewis is gone. I don't know where KJ Lewis is going. Best of luck. I'm not shutting the door completely on Henry coming back. I am going to put that there. That's all I'm going to say. Yes, of course, Matt Rain. Matt, they're asking, do you back the A? Dude, look at that.
Of course I back the A. I'm a lifelong Arizona backing the A. Born and raised in Tucson. Grandparents went to U of A. Goes back a long way. Goes back a long way.
Yeah, I mean, seriously. I mean, the guy went to Catfoot. I mean, so again, Catefoot. Yes. But I read Henry. I don't know. I'm just saying I would not shut the door on Henry coming back. But here's where something, though, that I want to say. Matt went to Catfoot, Catalina Foothills. Come on, Dennis Walsh.
2015.
What's a better academic school, Catfoot or Sal Point?
I think they're probably even.
But one's free. Smart.
Exactly. You got to pay money for South Point. You got to wear a uniform too, you know? So not about that life.
Yeah, for sure. Here's where I'm basically at, though, with Tommy Lloyd. I don't care who his big men are. I have total faith in what he does with his big men. And all these people are like, oh, well, we can't replace so-and-so because you can't replace Henry. Everybody was saying that last year about Umar Ballo, leader of men. Then once Mount Crevis went down, they're like, oh, we're done. And guess what? Henry Vasar turned out to be awesome. He knows the Tommy gun knows what he's doing, man.
He does. First of all, as you have been saying this whole time, I think you just got to trust this coaching staff and see how the dust settles, because as fans, and you've seen this, Trey Holloman, right, from Michigan State, into the transfer portal today, and Michigan State fans very upset by that. But look, at the end of the day, for Arizona and Henry Vasar, you trust the guys on the staff to reload. And I don't know, Mike, maybe, be giving your best guess here. Do you think that Tommy Lloyd and the Arizona staff were caught completely off guard by Henry Vasar entering the portal?
Yes, I do. Yeah. I don't think they saw that one happening. I do not think that. Yes. Now, TLN, Tommy's left nut. That's the first and only time I will ever say that for you. Rage. Look at Rage. Rage is such a negative Nancy. Says, want to bet? Yeah, Rage. You didn't show up to SRS, Rage, like you promised. You still owe me. All right, but either way, TLN says, yeah, Mike, but you always say take the proven guy, and Henry is proven. What people have to realize, though, is that this is now a cost-benefit situation here. Arizona's got $5 million to play with. And they made the same decision last year with Umar Ballo, leader of men, where it was, he's going to get 1.2 million. I can find something comparable. If Henry's going to make 1.3 or 1 million, whatever the case may be, and I'm just throwing out a number right here, and you got Mo Crevis for 350,000 or 400,000, and you've also got I don't know, like somebody else, Tobe Awaka, and you can bring back Carter to pay more. I'm just throwing examples there. You take that because, again, yes, you want to bring back Henry, but at the same time, you don't have unlimited amount of money.
Yeah, I think part of it, Mike, and I totally understand the frustration from fans, is that you watch this guy grow up in the program. I tweeted about this yesterday. Right. You watch the guy grow up in the program. He's not supposed to play much this year. Mo Crevis gets injured. He blossoms into the Henry that we know. I mean, Mike, as you remember, it used to be My Bad Henry.
My Bad Henry.
Henry.
Not only that, I mean, but Tommy Lloyd saw something there.
He did. And so the frustrating thing for fans is that you see the growth and the potential, and he's had a great year, and you want him to come back and do better. That's just not the way college basketball works anymore. I mean, it just is not. And I think it sucks.
Right.
And I obviously would want Henry Vasar on this team next year. But if it comes down to it, and North Carolina, whatever their school is going to pay him $1 million plus, and we can distribute that money elsewhere, then so be it. And Arizona will still come out okay.
Everybody is putting their school in there. There are many, many fine schools here on both sides. But I will say that Jesse Bridges, you lose with Utterback. No. I was not impressed by Utterback. No, thanks. All right, Javier. Now, let me ask you this. Javier, we're going to have Javier on next week. Javier hates Arizona, and he hates Tommy Lloyd. So we're going to I very much look forward to having Javier on. But I do want to ask you this. A name that has gone into the portal that is getting a lot of traction, that anytime you can see a double-double player that enters the portal, you're probably like, you know what? What do we think about bringing the Duke to Arizona as a backup?
I knew you were going to say him. Yeah, Duke Brennan. What a name.
Watch your mouth, Matt Brady. Watch your mouth.
I mean, I don't know, Mike. It's hard. Well, I don't. No. I don't think he sucks. I think he's a good player. He seems like a good guy.
Definitely your way of saying it.
I just think that I got to get a little more than 10-10 at GCU. Now, look, if Tobe Awaka goes, if like you have like an exodus of players and you bring in Duke Brennan and he's there as like a emergency player, but like, are you serious in like bringing him in to be a full-time rotation player?
I mean, like eight minutes a game, 4 minutes each half.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, you're like, no, that's a hard no. That's a hard no. You already got your politician hat on. I see you running for governor already.
But I don't know, and Mike, maybe there's people that in the portal that are out there that Tommy and his staff are seriously targeting. But look, I see guys like Yaxel of UAB, being shopped around to Kentucky and Memphis, I know, is in there. And a lot of these top portal guys are already going. Keyshawn Hall from UCF has been linked to Kansas. Is Arizona in it with any of these like big time names, or we just don't know yet?
Because we don't know yet, because everything's got to. I mean, you got to get Braden Burries in there first, and then you got to figure out what's going on with Henry. If you figure out what's going on with Henry, then you can go back from there. All right, let's get a couple reads in here. Everybody, be nice in the chats. Dennis Walsh, you be nice, my friend. Be nice. Yes. All right. Everybody doesn't want Brent Brennan or not Brent. Oh,
well, little Freudian slip there. Yeah,
to it. But tough, yes. All right, we have enough Brennans to worry about. All right, let's get to some reads here. What do we got? All right, what do we got? Come on. Bridge Tech Communications. Now, Matt Rain. Oh, Bridge Tech Communications is so big that it literally just X'd Matt Rain out of the
They're huge.
Yes.
They're huge.
Yeah, check your DM, by the way. Yeah. So, anyways, Bridge Tech Communications. You might say to yourself, Mike, did you go to a gym up in SRS? I had to Google one. Can you believe that I had to Google a gym because I couldn't find one. They probably don't use Bridge Tech Communications, my friends. Because Bridge Tech Communications. Listen to this, Matt. Do you like 750% average ROIs on your investment? I bet you do.
It's pretty good. It's better than 749.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. And it's definitely better than just 700 average ROIs, those losers. But either way, you can get the gym and the health or the wellness spa. Our good pal, Ben One White. I taught Ben One White how to lift weights at the Stone Avenue Standard. He didn't know how to bench press. Seriously, I was looking at him like, what are you doing, dude? Like, that's not how it's supposed to look. But anyways, Ben One White now goes to good gyms, and he's buff now, probably with the help of Bridge Tech Communications. Check it out. Tony is the man. We very much like it. Yes. Henry is winning on and off the court. Be very nice. So yes, he is. All right. You guys are pervs. All right. Now, what else do we got here? All right. Oh, let's go give it to you. 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 Comfort X HVAC, my friend. Comfort X HVAC. Now, have you heard of Anthony Gimino?
I have. Good writer.
He sucks. He's one of the most miserable people you will ever see. He never smiles. He's insufferable. But in this picture, he's smiling. That's because the good folks of Comfort X HVAC saved him up to $2,000, my friend. $2,000. Look at these guys. Look at this. I mean, this is steel. This is girth. This is everything that comes into it. And he also said they were very, very nice. Look at Anthony right there. Now, again, here's what you got to do. Use code Wildcats for 10% off, my friend. 10% off. Perfect track record, residential and commercial HVAC expertise at affordable rates. 520-222-7012. Yes. Okay. Now, what are we talking about, Matt?
We're talking about Henry Vasar transfers. No, actually, let me ask you a question about Jaden Bradley. we might think that, Burries is important and Vasar is important. Jaden Bradley bringing him back, what I know, maybe there were some rumblings about another team trying to poach him.
Yeah.
I don't know how much you can talk
Arizona's
about that.
Arizona's got to get Jaden Bradley back. You can't lose Jaden Bradley. You can't. Oh, Prim, you're in there. Prim, I love you, by the way. It was just fun today. Prim also called me what's the term? I don't think it's a bad word. A cuck?
A casual?
No. I was called a cuck because Arizona, because I said that I was okay with Arizona losing to Duke because Duke is better than Arizona, and I guess it was maybe a casual take. I don't know.
Right.
But anyway,
you can look that up later. I don't know if
it's probably not. It's probably not a nice thing, but either way, probably not a compliment. But either way, what were we talking about? What did you ask me again? ADHD is going crazy.
Jaden Bradley, how important he is to bring back.
He is. Jaden Bradley is the epitome of somebody that his numbers don't show. I mean, yes, he's 12-4, but he is absolutely one of the he's imperative. He is a really good player. Again, he's probably not going to play in the MNBA, but at the same time, though, he's also, like I said, a good defender. He's a steadying presence. I like Jaden Bradley a great deal.
Me too. I think you got to bring him back. You got to find a way, and maybe that's part of the Vasar deal, right? Where you can't match the number that someone's going to give Vasar, but you can give more money to Jaden Bradley. Really, though, this transfer portal, and we can talk about this too. I'm all for guys being paid. But it's a lot harder to be a fan. It really is. Would you agree with that since 10, 20 years ago? I mean, these guys are mercenaries, right?
Yeah. See, here's where I'm at with this. I do believe that, and Rage, be nice, Rage. Rage is saying truth is an insult. Rage, you're being mean to me right now. Here's where I'm at with it. To me, there's a middle ground. Because I've always thought it was crap that a kid that goes to a school recruited by 4 years for his player or by his coach. The coach books it to a mid-major like ASU or something to coach there, and then the kid is stuck there. I've always thought that was garbage. I don't believe though that there should be 5 transfers. I think that maybe 2 is good. I also think at the same time too, there has to be some kind of why is everybody's talking about Carter's post? I don't know. What is Carter's post?
So today he posted on Instagram, I think it was his second or third picture of him kind of waving to the crowd, and the caption was kind of, alluding to leaving. I don't know, guys, if I would read too much into that. Maybe, but I think it's just wait and see. Just wait and see.
Just wait and see. Yes, everybody gets paid, William Reed. But then I think there's got to be some kind of cap on NIL. I'm fine with the guys getting paid. But it's kind of stupid now. Donovan Dent is getting $3 million.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
The thing that I compared it to the other day is, it's like when you Venmo a friend for something and then they Venmo you back with that same money that you Venmo them for. That's the college basketball world right now, where it's Cadeau goes from UNC to Michigan and they're paying him whatever. And then let's say Vasar goes from Arizona to UNC. So they use the Cadeau money to pay Vasar. Then we use money to pay someone else. It's just it's just all one big circle and everyone isn't super happy. And then we just end up with whatever. We're back where we started. So the NCAA, whoever, has to figure it out. It has to be better than it is now, because it's just not sustainable to pay guys $2-3 million like this.
Yes, I know what Venmo is. I use Venmo every day. Kobe Thiel. Buzz off Cope, dude. Cope. Yes, it's the worst game. Now, Michael Natowski, but I will say this, it's really good for business? The portal. I love the portal for that reason, though. Very, very good. I like the portal. Also, something else that we need to push back again. These rumors aren't as scurrilous as the ones being perpetrated against Green Valley Decorative Rock, but they're bad. I love this theory that just because Trey Townsend wasn't good, that somehow every mid-major player sucks. What are we doing here? Look at New Mexico's entire team. You look at Darian Williams, you look at JT Toppin, you look at The kid from GCU, McWilliams or whatever his name is, or
McMillan. Yeah, you got it.
Same thing. Yes, you look at him, Chaz Lanier, Walter Payton. Walter Payton. Yeah, he's a heck of a player. Walter Clayton Jr. Grant Nelson. They're loaded with players from mid majors. Just because one guy isn't good doesn't mean that they all stink. And Joseph. Cedric Henderson was brought in to be like an eighth guy. He was fine as an eighth guy. It's not his fault if he ends up starting. So, Broom, the best, second best player in college basketball. Yep. Yes.
And I think it keeps coming back to, I said this last time we were talking, but it keeps coming back to, and maybe it's just Occam's razor, the guys that look like they're the part, they look like they're meant to play high major Division I basketball. You bring those guys in. Unfortunately, Trey Townsend doesn't really fit the bill. Unfortunately, Anthony Del Orso, I love his shooting. He seems like a good dude. He just doesn't.
He's an eighth guy.
Yeah, he's an eighth guy. He just doesn't fit the bill. And so, but you look at a guy like Chance McMillan, amazing. JT Toppin, right? The guys that look the part, they have really high major production in the mid-major level. You bring them in.
Right. I mean, you look at it now, Joseph was a huge Trey Townsend guy. And I got what Joseph was saying. Joseph was saying all offseason, he was saying, listen, he was 17-8 and he absolutely killed it in the tournament against good teams. And so I was a little skeptical, but Joseph, made some really good points about Trey Townsend, but he was wrong. At the end of the day, Joseph was wrong. Not everybody, but I'm not beating up Joseph. I'm just saying that a lot of times, it's hard to project. You've just got to be able to get the right ones in there. And, just because Trey didn't hit doesn't mean that you're not, that's just kind of where I'm at. So, yeah, and Joseph, like Joseph kept talking about, he kept saying his tourney film. Well, you were wrong, Joseph. It's just is what it is. It's not that big of a deal. And on paper, I could, it just is what it is. I am not going to quiver into the night against, I don't know if that makes sense, but whatever, against mid-major players.
Into the night.
I will not quiver into the night against mid-major.
A Mike Lucasism.
Yes.
Yeah.
But again, it is what it is.
It is what it is. And the more I think about transfers, and I think, there was a discussion after the Duke game about, where was Caleb Love on the Arizona legend status? Mm-hmm. And I think I had tweeted something to the effect of, Caleb Love's an Arizona Wildcat legend. And I think people have different parameters for what that means, but it's a lot harder for transfers who just stay a year to become ingratiated in the program's history. Right. I mean, honestly, Mike, do you really think about Mark Tollefson that often?
No.
Do you think about Courtney Ramey that often?
No, I don't.
Yeah. And so it hurts the identity of the team and the sport in general. And I know I'm just continuing on my soapbox, but to your point, it doesn't mean that these guys are not important, because they are quite literally the difference between getting to a national championship and losing in the first round. They just are.
All right, everybody be nice to Rage, because again, at the end of the day, I am happy that Rage likes me. Rage is the last person in the world that I would want to piss off. Rage, I like you a great deal, even though you bailed on going to SRS. All right, now, another point too, and with football, it's kind of the same thing. Joseph was a huge Jeremiah Patterson fan. It didn't work out. I mean, a JUCO kid, I get it, but there's also Jacob Cowings in there. So it just kind of is what it is. So we'll go with that. Now, I need a couple Gen Z terms here that I can also cope with during these next. What would you? And we got Kobe Thiel in here. We got some of our young bucks in here. All right, Riz. What do I need to know about Riz?
So Riz, the most simple way I can explain it is that it's just short for charisma. So, Mike, when you take your girl out to Baggins and get 15% off, that's Riz. You have Riz when you do that.
Is it like swag a little bit?
Yeah, it's a little swag. You got Riz, and Mike, you gotta research this kid. His name is the Rizzler. Have you heard of this guy before?
No, who is he? Talk to me. Who is he?
You've never heard of? So the Rizzler is this like 9-year-old kid who does the Riz face, and I can't do it because he just does it much better than I would. But he now has his face is now on Arizona Iced Tea, so he's moving up in the world.
He's 9 years old.
Yeah, he's the Rizzler. He's the Rizzler. So
right.
Interesting. Yeah, Andre Vera says You can't say your girl to Mike. People will think you're talking about his daughter. Yeah.
Oh,
So
I don't have a daughter. I don't know. This is talk about a bad rumor. All right. I want to get back to some more of this here, but first we got to pay some bills here as well. Yes. Oh, Edgar's. I was on those Edgar's before anybody else, though. I don't like Edgar's. But first, Eris Dental, my friend, Eris Dental. All right, Matt Ring. You're a young buck. You're probably not going to need dental implants. This is true. Not yet.
not yet.
But at the same time, though, you never know. And guess what? They call, and again, my nickname, like I said in high school, was the championship package. But, I mean, for obvious reasons. But they also have something called the championship package, where for $19.97, you can get a implant and a crown, my friend. Very, very good deal. You don't got to go to Zimbabwe or something and pay and get like the discount there where it's like $70 and they're probably like, doing something that's not right. Or here where they're going to pay $10 million and you're going to be like, you don't need to do any of that. You go to Eris Dental. Land the man with the master plan, my friend. Daily urgent care, dental implants at affordable prices. TucsonTeeth.com, Eris Dental. You will thank me later. Check it out. We got a really cool story, Land. We need to get you. In there. You need to send me that picture. We will get that one going. All right, now. All right, RJ's frozen cactus, my friend. RJ's frozen cactus. Now. All right, now. First of all, I met Land the Man. You have met Land the Man's awesome. RJ's Frozen Cactus was awesome. We had a watch party there. We had a couple watch parties there. Very well attended. 100+ craft beers. And like I said, if you're going to sit back on a little of grandma's old cough medicine or whatever you're going to do and a little too much, guess what? You can leave your car there because this parking lot is massive. Like Dennis Walsh, this guy's flying over there and he's probably just staring at RJ's Frozen Cactus. So
grandma's old cough medicine.
Yes, grandma's old cough medicine. Yeah. But either way, it's good stuff. AKA $100 craft beers, 100+ craft beers, pizza, wings, tacos. No bad seats in the house. Check it out. Also, for all you people, Carter is getting off social media for a while, so be nice. Boom. Be nice there. All right, now Michael Rubin. Now you might say to yourself, "Man, I'm looking to buy, sell, or refinance my house, but I don't know where to go." Well, thanks for tuning in. Look at that QR code right there. Scan that thing, baby, and you can use code Jason Terry for $500 off. My friend, $500 off. Now, local to Tucson, lifelong Wildcat fan, former teacher, debt reconsolidation, all of that. He has got you covered. Again, Andy's got one of the best jump shots in all of Southern Arizona. Lifelong U of A fan. Rubin Group, again, Michael Rubin, code Jason Terry for $500 off closing costs, 520-419-4262. All right, I want to talk a little bit about, the Gen Z things. They got to cope here a little bit, in my opinion. Because I see so many reactionaries out there where they're like, like 5 days ago, Arizona sucks. And now it's, we're going to be awesome. Like Arizona is going to be just fine. Tommy Gunn knows what he's doing. We're going to be just fine. I mean, it is what it is. This is true.
It is true. Arizona basketball will be Arizona basketball. And, Prim on Twitter, of course, talks about the standard. What is the standard of Arizona basketball?
What is the standard for the Gen Z? Well, I keep hearing the standard. What is the standard? Seems like crap. What is it?
No, listen, I think what he's trying to say is that Arizona basketball represents a higher level of basketball than the vast majority of the country, right? We are not ASU. Huh?
We agree with that.
Yeah, we agree. No, we agree. But I think the standard definition is different to different people. But here's what I'll say. And I agree with you, Mike. Arizona basketball will be okay. People can take a deep breath. I think part of it is that because we're so tuned in to the 24/7 news cycles, people want to freak out about the latest thing. Right. Arizona basketball will be okay. I don't know. Arizona football, I don't know. But
we don't expect Arizona football to be okay. That's what we signed up for. Come on.
We'll see about that. But Duke, Brennan, Brett Brennan combination. We'll see if that happens next year, next fall.
I don't think Matt will get too mad at me, but I'll never forget. This was one of the funniest texts you've ever sent, amongst many texts. This was probably like 5 or 6 years ago, and it was when Chief was going off about Arizona football. And you're like, can you imagine spending your day getting this worked up about Arizona football?
Yeah, it's bizarre. I mean, the hours that he spent,
right?
And Arizona football is what it is, but Arizona basketball It'll always be there for us, and it's great.
By the way, you know what's funny about the Standard, T-Burns? The Standard aren't those old apartment. No, Matt Rain and I were roommates at the Stone Avenue Standard in college, my friend. I was in grad school. I'm a millennial, I'm a millennial, not one of these Gen Zers like Prim in the chat right here. But yes, we stayed at the Standard. All right, now. But Arizona's going to be just fine. Very, very excited about there as well. OC Bodybuilders live there. Everybody lived there. Hey, I'll tell you this. So we had this roommate from China. You can tell me if I'm wrong. This guy went around hitting everybody. He ran into 5 different people
in his cars,
and he drove off every single time, and he stayed for one. And so I asked him, and I said, "Why did you stay?" And he said, "She was attractive, buddy." And he said it, and I was like, "That's not how this works." So, anyways, I got some. Did I tell you about the knowledge that I got on this turd? So he maxed out all of his credit cards here, didn't pay any of his bills. I remember one time he was telling me that he wanted all the bills and letters to go away, and I told him, "How about you just pay your bills?" And then so he's always on the run. He went to like the ranch or whatever. So, anyways, now he's back in China. So he came over here. Yeah. He hit a bunch of cars. Didn't pay any of his bills, and now he's gone. That is our friend Lee.
Forever in our hearts.
Yeah,
he will be there, and but Ben White and Mozzie Lee, I think, still have a close relationship potentially.
You know what? That one doesn't surprise me in the least. Those two, there was a lot in common there, my friends. Although I don't think Ben White actually hit cars and drove. At least I hope he didn't.
He did not.
Lee, we love Ben. Lee was kind of a slime ball. So at the end of the day, all right, Matt, you're going to be having you on more. What is your? I was going to say you've got an open schedule. This is true, my friend.
I do. Yeah. Anytime, Mike. It's great to talk to you.
What are you doing Friday?
I think I'll actually be in Charlotte, North Carolina, but I can probably hop on and we'll see. But it's my girlfriend's niece's birthday party, so we're going.
You know what's funny about Venmo is to show you that I have Venmo is that when I go on Venmo to pay people, Matt Rain is always on there paying his lovely girlfriend money, or vice versa.
No,
it's true.
No.
Yes, it's true.
That true?
Yeah, I see it all the time.
No, I put my Venmo on private, Mike. I'm not Matt Gates, and I put my Venmo on private.
No.
Well, I'm going back right now. I'm privating my Venmo. I can't have that.
I like being able to see what Matt Rain. Hey, Matt, do you want me to show you the people here just so that?
Sure. What am I saying? What am I saying?
Okay, hold on. Yeah, well, let's see. We're right here. What does this look like at the bottom right there, Matt Rain?
Let's see. What does that say?
Matt Rain paid Julie Fields flight.
That was flight, because that's a friend's. That's going on private though. That's going on private.
Oh, there's a lot more. This is great. Yeah,
just to her.
We are the beacon of truth. And
you're right. You're right.
Yes, we. Private your Venmo. Oh, she's on here right now. Yes, Julia. Yes, tell Matt Rain. Listen, if you're going to be. If you're going to be running the country, if you're going to be the governor and then the president, we can't have you know who you're going to Venmo.
Yeah, that's terrible. Well, I'm glad. Thank you for telling me. I'll be sure to. Thankfully, it's just to her, and
it's nobody else. But it wasn't to Mozzie Lee.
It was not to Mozzie Lee. No.
Yes. All right. On that note, though, you guys are fantastic. We got Matt Rain to switch his Venmo to private live, but you guys are the best. All right, Matt. You said you're good for Friday.
Let's do it.
All right. Now, everybody in there, be nice. Everybody be nice to Rage. All right. On that note, though, for Matt Rain, I am merely Mike Luke. For his lovely lady, Julia, in there as well. We just got Matt in trouble. Come back with us. You've been listening to the AZ12 podcast.